Hello? Hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. I'm Daniel Moore, your service leader this morning. The UU Fellowship of the Emerald Coast is a religious community united by a shared set of values and principles and committed to service, spiritual growth, and a caring fellowship. If you're visiting today, you will find more information about us on the back of your order of service on our website and Facebook page. Please fill out a visitor card at the blue table by the front door over there, so we can connect with you and send you information about upcoming events. We are a community of friendly, imperfect humans and welcome you all here. All of us were visitors and strangers once. We've found friends and opportunities for spiritual growth and justice work in this Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. We treasure the warmth and empowerment created here and welcome newcomers to be a part of it. We honor and acknowledge that we gather on the unceded land of the Muskogee Creek, who stewarded this place long before we came. This morning is an intergenerational service. This means that the children will be remaining with us throughout the service. In fact, this service is a group effort from all of us in religious exploration, or what we call RE, back there. And I want to invite you all to our little religious exploration circle this morning. Today we are all young or young at heart, and we are all here to explore, okay? All right. Why did they add that?
I'm a conversational guy. I add those bits.
Please refer to the order of service for upcoming services and announcements. Please join us for refreshments after the service and explore our second hour activities, which are also noted in your order of services. Please silence all cell phones. And now the prelude prepares us for the service. And now this is the part when we call the elements in and remind ourselves where we come from, and we get to give ourselves a big hug. The words will be up on the screen.
Actually, we'll do the chalice lighting first. Sorry. Go right here. Sorry.
Today we are going to do things differently, or rather we are going to the chalice lighting like we do back in RE. The words will be on the screen if you would read them out loud with us. We light this chalice.
Hold on. Breathe.
I don't like freezing.
It's okay. We light this chalice with
open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. We will use the magic of our creativity to make the world a better place, using the greatest weapon we have, love.
Thank you. And now.
Yes, good job, Denny. And now we do our call to worship. And now this is the part where we call the elements in and remind ourselves where we come from. And now we get to give ourselves a big hug. The words will be up on the screen if you would like to sing along, and as you are able to, you are welcome to stand with us and get our bodies moving a bit.
If you all would stand, there are some motions to this, and they're
Do you
just a little bit of a nice
want the
little
microphone?
stretch. You don't need to sing into that. If you want to step over a little bit, you say, Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. Earth, my body, water, my blood, air, my breath, and fire, my spirit. And if you would remain standing,
Gets the blood pumping.
we are going to sing. You want to?
And if you would remain,
You're good.
for our opening hymn, number 345 in your gray hymnal, with joy we claim the growing light. The words will also appear on the screen. Come up, children. We have a skit.
Everyone gets. Yeah, you want to.
Yeah, the narrator should get the microphone.
You want to walk around to people and hand them the mic because you're the narrator too. Okay. We have a little skit for y'all this morning. This is about King John Sigismund, who was the only ever Unitarian king.
Our story takes place in the mid-1500s in the country of Hungary.
I'm Queen Isabella of Hungary. I've just had a baby. My husband, King John, is away fighting. Hungary is such a sad place to live right now. Everyone is fighting. My husband fights with kings from other countries. Groups of people within Hungary are fighting with other groups of people. A lot of warring is about religion. I wish King John would stop fighting and come home to see our baby. I wish people would talk about their differences instead of trying to kill each other over them.
Unfortunately, King John died just 2 weeks after the baby was born. He never saw his son. Little baby Prince John Sigismund became the new king of Hungary.
All hail King John Sigismund of Hungary!
Well, King John Sigismund was obviously way too young to rule a country. Kings from other countries took most of Hungary away from John Sigismund and kept it for themselves.
I'm taking my baby to live in a small corner of the kingdom called Transylvania. I will teach him to be a wise ruler, and I will help him put an end to all the fighting.
While the young king was growing up, the wars continued. In Transylvania, the followers of different religions kept fighting with each other. Queen Isabella died when John Sigismund was 19 years old. It was now all up to him to stop the war, to try to stop the wars.
Or no, King is Alex.
What should we do? How can we stop the fighting?
One king, one country, one religion. Just as they do in France and Spain, we must choose one religion for Transylvania. Everyone and will have to follow it. And then we will have no more fighting.
I don't know. You know, my dear mother taught me that people should try to solve their differences by talking. I wonder, what if I invited people from different religions to my court to talk together?
And that's just what he did. King John Sigismund invited a number of preachers to his court for a conversation about religion.
I'm a Calvinist preacher.
I'm a Catholic preacher.
I'm a Lutheran preacher.
I'm a Greek Orthodox preacher.
And I'm Francis David. I'm a Christian who believes that God is one, not three. Since I think that God is a unity, not a trinity, some people have called me a Unitarian.
Of course, preachers are great talkers. They talked on and on for days. Sometimes they argued, but they didn't fight.
Wow. I'm really impressed with Franz David, the Unitarian. He makes a lot of sense to me. I think I'm going to become a Unitarian too.
I say one king, one country, one religion.
We need not think alike to love alike. So how about this? We need not think alike to love alike.
Well, I could do what the noble suggests and make everyone in Transylvania become Unitarian, like Franz David and me. But one of the things I like best about Franz David is that he says we don't need to all think alike.
King John Sigismund thought hard about what to do. He was still just a young man, and he had a big decision to make. Should he demand that everyone practice the religion that he had chosen for his own, or should he let everyone choose for themselves?
I hereby issue an edict of religion tolerance. I proclaim that every person can follow the religion of their own choosing. No one shall be revived for their religion by anyone else. Franz David, I invite you to remain here to be my court preacher.
This is not quite a happily ever after story. King John Sigismund died at the age of 31 following a carriage accident. After his death, Unitarians were not always tolerated. Francis David was eventually imprisoned for his ideas, and he died in a dungeon. But because of King John Sigismund and Francis David, Unitarianism took hold in Transylvania, where it remains strong today. Unitarians began with beliefs about the unity of God and also came to stand for religious freedom and tolerance. This skit is by Jan Garther.
Thank you.
No, that was fun. And now we will share joys and concerns. A treasured tradition in our fellowship is sharing the personal joys, milestones, and concerns during our worship service. This is a sacred time. It is for individuals who are experiencing truly significant events in their personal life. We invite you to come forward and place a pebble in the bowl and share silently or in just a few words. Through this brief ritual, we deepen our connection to one another, and as always, we ask that you only share personal stories you have permission to share.
In a world that seems overwhelming with all of its distractions, it's nice to have a moment of peace and reflection. I would invite you now to quiet your mind for a moment as we sit and breathe together. We're going to do the full 25 breaths because I think it's good. So we're going to do 5 silent breaths, 5 humming breaths, so humming on the out, 5 oming, om, like that, and then 5 humming and 5 silent. And if you want, you can follow along with my hand or just close your eyes. So inhale, in, and out, and in, and out, in, out, in, and out, in, and out. And then we're going to hum in, 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 and then a nice big round om in, om, in, om, in, om, in, om. One more big om in. Om. Back to humming. In. 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 Let me hear you one more time. In. And then quiet. In and out. In and out. In and out. In and out. And in, and hold it for just a second. And let it out. And kind of shake a little bit. Come back to earth. Feel your fingers. You know, there's science behind that actually helps regulate our nervous systems, and it keeps us kind of on the same level here. So thank you for that.
Generosity is a spiritual practice, and our fellowship is supported entirely by pledges and donations. If you are paying your pledge today, please mark your check in the memo line. If this is your first time here, feel free to pass the plate along. We are just glad you are here. After the song of dedication, we will share cash and undesignated checks with our December Split the Plate partner, UUFEC, Fund for Emergency Needs. Please be generous as you are able.
Good morning, friends. Really glad to have my helper up here. Done awesome this whole time. Hey, everybody give a hand for Daniel real quick. I'm happy just to be able to stand up here with you today. Sometimes it's hard for me. If you know me, you know. But I'm even happier to share this service with our RE crew and kids here. To meet you here in this space, in this time, as we're slowly but surely moving out of the winter months. Can you feel it? Those long, dark hours, cold fronts. Oof. The light is returning, and so is the warmth that follows it. And so, we thought this was the perfect moment to dwell a little bit on that, particularly to talk more about the idea of light. Both the light of the sun, obviously, that's warming us up, but even more so, what does the idea of light mean to us here in this community? And what does it mean in like the broader sense of our larger Unitarian Universalist Association? But as I like to do, I want to hear from y'all, because I think it's helpful to find out where we are all sometimes, where we are at. You know, I think we might assume like a whole lot about each other without touching base very often. And sometimes this can lead to more dramatic moments than where someone that we care about, someone we are in fellowship with maybe, says something that really throws us for a loop. Like, I have had this experience many times. Not all of them super dramatic. An example I will bring up in a minute was very dramatic, though. But even if it isn't, it's always a little jarring and can lead to grumbling or even shouting sometimes. I've heard it. People will separate, leave. Relationships can be broken. And as I said, this is a more extreme case than usual, but I still think it's a wonderful and fruitful practice to remind each other who we are, what we believe, where we're at, you know? And then there is less confusion or assumptions or doubt. And as in the case of our little community here, you more than likely find that you have a lot more in common than you even thought. Or perhaps you'll also find difference, diversity of thought and background. You might even be challenged. But I know that if we hold respect for one another and not rush to judgment, that diversity of thought can become our greatest strength. So with that being said, here's my first question. Next slide. What does the word light mean to you? Daniel? If anyone want to raise their hands, what does light mean? Jim? Here, go talk in the microphone, Jim, tell me.
Illumination, brightness.
Okay, anybody else?
Waves that go into our eyes that help us see things.
Help us see things, I agree, yeah. Anybody else? What is light?
Absence of darkness.
Ooh, I like that, okay. Anybody else? It's okay. We got some over here, Daniel.
Awareness of something new.
Awareness, light. I like that. Anybody else?
I would argue that it means hope.
Ooh, hope too. Maybe you're getting ahead of me here. You always do that though. I love you.
Clarity and truth.
See, that's why I ask these questions. Clarity and truth. One more? Anybody? Yeah?
Well, it kind of forces us to be awake.
I love that. And Will, were you trying to say something? Oh, totally got it. Okay, come up here. Forces us to be awake. I kind of love that because that goes right along with where I met this morning too. Forced to be awake. So light, as we may have noticed, is a very rich and ancient metaphor. And I would be surprised if it didn't resonate with all of us a little bit differently. But I do think it's possible. You can come sit down. I do think it's possible to narrow it down, at least so we know what we're talking about this morning. Generally, light as a symbol or idea is focused on inspiration, clarity, vision. If something is covered in shadow, it's hard to see, right? A stone tablet in a dark cave is unreadable. So what does light do then in that dark cave? It shines light on what was already there, right? Does that make sense? So now, I want to give you that dramatic example that I mentioned earlier. First, I want to make sure everyone understands a tiny, tiny bit about our Unitarian Universalist Association. You know I love to do this. I promise I'm not going to lecture you, though, or bore you. But all of the big decisions that we make as like a larger denomination, as an association of communities like ours, the big decisions are made democratically. And you know what that means, right? It means we get to vote. And each congregation like ours sends 2 delegates to represent them at General Assembly, or GA, as you'll often hear it called. It's not a perfect process. Maybe it needs a little updating. And it is honestly always changing. That's a big part of the process itself, is to change the process. But imperfect as it is, it's a huge part of who we are. So, lesson over. Back to the story. In modern times, and after the whole pandemic hit us, GA has become a hybrid gathering. Some people gathering in person and others calling in on Zoom, a video call. You know. And the first year that I was selected as a delegate for our congregation, there was a delegate who was video calling in from Washington State. This person, I will reiterate, was picked by his congregation, and I say his because I do think it matters. He was sent to GA, on a video, to represent them. Remember that when I say that every time he got up to speak, he spoke about white Protestant ethics and claimed that he himself was a proud white man. And also repeated such vile and horrible racist lies about people of color that I will not utter here. He was shouted down by the audience, and as people realized what he was saying, they eventually cut him off on Zoom too. He had already done quite a bit of damage though already. The room was shook. People in the room and on Zoom were horrified. Our congregations, they are safe places, safe spaces. The phrase that we like to use is beloved community. And that beloved community was invaded with this ancient hate that somehow made it past social filters that might have caught it first. And this, I believe, can shed a lot of light, pun extremely intended, on this really big question that we somehow always keep coming back to. Who are we? What even is a Unitarian Universalist? I mean, there are 2 common misconceptions that I hear from outside often, but even from inside too, that you use either believe in everything or we believe in nothing. You've probably heard some variation of that. And possibly even you've said something like that. And there's no shame. I honestly explained it like that to somebody when I first started coming here. I said, I think we kind of believe in just about everything, you know. It's a big, long name with a long, interesting theological history, something we're not going to get into this morning. But one glance at our order of service, what we playfully call the OOS, it will show you that we have a shared set of values. It's right on the front, which I will say is not nothing, right? But to the other claim, that we believe or welcome anything and everything, I'm sure, based on the story that I just told, you might be thinking of quite a few things that we don't welcome. Things that in this metaphor we might call shadows. They aren't welcome within our beloved community. Though I want to stress, and this is kind of deep, but I do want to say this, not all shadows are always bad. Some are just mystery. Some are unconsciousness, or things that we're still learning. We're still understanding ourselves. Sometimes light can cast those shadows away for sure. But some shadows, when we shine light on them, turn out to be rooted in hate and dehumanization and violence. And those are not just shadows of ignorance, they are shadows of supremacy and oppression. We must speak to that. They're not welcome here. This is the moral tension we hold as you use. Not just inclusion, but integrity. Not just welcome, but wise welcome. So let me ask you, and I'd love for us to wrestle with this honestly. Next slide. What kinds of shadows are not welcome in our beloved community? Anybody have any ideas? Straight back there.
Hate. Any metaphor for hate.
Any metaphor for hate, yes, in all of its forms.
Those who are unwilling to learn and open their minds to something they may not know yet.
Oh, I love that.
Racism. Racism.
Racism, absolutely. No place here. Anybody else? I'm sure we can name a whole lot of things. I don't want to dwell in the dark, but I do want to talk about it.
I don't know if anyone said this already, but transphobia.
Yeah, thank you. Transphobia, homophobia, phobias of all kinds. Not the, fear of spiders. We're fine with that. They're spooky.
Bigotry of any kind.
Yeah, exactly. We don't have to tolerate intolerance. I think that's good, Daniel. I think we got a good idea. Thank you, bud. There will be one more, but if you want to sit down. I think, as you can see, there are plenty of things that aren't welcome here, right? We won't be tolerant of intolerance, for example. We aren't pushovers. I'll say that again. We're not pushovers, and you don't have to be. That's not what we're doing here. It takes a lot of love and care and strength to hold together a community like ours. And most of all, it takes a little light. Like I mentioned earlier, light brings clarity, truth, understanding. When the light shines in the darkness, the truth is made clear. And even though religious traditions have fought forever, like we saw this morning, no. About everything, it seems, even. The truth, the deeper, holy, sacred truths, I'll tell you right now, and I can only speak from my experience, but in my experience, they're usually a lot simpler and more straightforward than you might think. It's usually something as plain as love everyone else like you'd love yourself, or just go with the flow, or you get the love that you give. These sound like platitudes, but they're cliche for a reason. They are true and real and apparent and simple, and they just pop out when you shine enough light on something. As we talked a little bit as we talked earlier in the skit, one of our long-held values is the right to believe what we believe, regardless of the state or the church or our families or whatever. And what that means is that we, as UUs, have historically looked to many different teachers and sages throughout time. Teachers like the Buddha or the man Jesus or the Prophet Muhammad. I also want to say this, that there is so much wisdom, so much light, seemingly wherever you look. It doesn't have to, or often doesn't, come from some ancient scroll, though a lot of that stuff is worth reading, I'll say. It can, but more often it comes from those of us around us. Artists that we love, or a tree that we sit with in our yard, or it's just a friend that we sit with. The light can come from so many places. What matters is what that light is doing. It casts away shadows, revealing the truth beneath. And that truth of who we are, the truth of what we're doing here on this planet, maybe. And of course, over and over and over again, the light teaches us what we continue to forget, even now, that we need each other more than ever. So with all that being said, I have one more question for you. Where do you find light these days in your life? What's bringing you light right now?
My children.
Oh, yes. Amen. They bring me joy too, your children.
Here,
Here.
nature and community.
My friends.
Here. I come here and I leave the week stronger and able to handle the week.
Me too, dude.
I always find inspiration just seeing people trying to make the best of this situation that we're in.
That's been the most inspiring for me, just seeing how strong people actually are.
Minneapolis and the people here that come out and protest on Fridays.
Thank you. I think that's a lot of light, Daniel, if you want to come up here. Thank you, buddy. It can honestly be from any source. And thank you, friends, for sharing all of those things. I can see even as you say them, as it lights you up. Okay, that was the last light pun, I promise. But I think you can see what I mean, right? There are so many sources of light that can be found. And they can and will fill us up till we are shining too. It's true. Find someone who is deep in something that they truly love, doing something simple and real, and you will watch them glow. This light, it isn't just a light in dark times. It's also a calling. If you let it, it will shine right through you. And that light will banish the shadows away until only the truth remains. The truth of love at the center of it all. The truth of I am you, are me, are they, are we. The truth that no matter what comes next, we are going to need each other, now more than ever. So friends, seek out that light. wherever it may be. Trust yourself, trust your heart, and look for the truth that is revealed. And when you find that light, don't keep it to yourself. Don't hide it under a bushel, as the old song goes. Share it. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. May it ever be so. And amen. Please rise if you are able for our closing song. Well, first, actually, we're going to listen to Daniel. He's going to play a rendition of Yellow Submarine. And then we are all, after he plays, we're all going to sing Yellow Submarine.
Give me a second.
He's going to get this set up real quick. Reeds, am I right?
They can be a pain. Can I play warm up? Alright. Good job, dude. There's a peace sign right there.
And I think I'll put the words up here. Oh, the name is wrong, but the words are right. It was late. In the town where I was born lived a man who sailed the sea, and he told us of his life in the land of submarine. And so we sailed up to the sun till we found
Once again, let us all read the chalice extinguishing together.
We extinguish this chalice until we meet again, but we do not extinguish the flame that burns within each of us to make the world better. We go forth now in love.
Please remain seated for the postlude. We're done.